It was an intriguing piece of fringe news that leaked out over the internet, and then word began to spread, and now it is an international controversy. You're about to see an ancient skull discovered recently that shows some bizarre deformities. Now, maybe it was just a defective primitive man or a woman, or some say maybe that's not it at all. Maybe it is part human, part something else. We'll be revealing the skull on this program today. You can take a look at it and give us your calls and some feedback. We welcome back Lloyd Pye. You may have heard him on the Art Bell radio show. He is the author of Everything You Know Is Wrong, and the man who is in possession of this skull and is raising money to have it DNA tested. Welcome, Lloyd. And David Summers also joins us from the Australia-based magazine Exposure, and the magazine has been following the story, and he has sort of an idea of what the international community has to say about this. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. Lloyd, where did this come from? Who discovered it?
It was discovered 60 to 70 years ago in Mexico, about 100 miles southwest of Chihuahua, by a young woman who at the time did not know what she had and what she was looking at. She just felt it was important, and so she smuggled it back into the States, and she kept it for the duration of her life. And then when it came time for her to die, she passed it on to an American man. He did not know what he had. He passed it on to a couple who then passed it on to me. They had heard of my work, and they had, well, they are the owners. I am like the caretaker because of my work with human origins and skeletons of ancient humans and all that. They figured that I was the best person for the job to do the testing that needs to be done, and so I've undertaken that.
Now, I'd like for you to show this side by side with a human skull, an ancient human skull that is human, and you say that this has enough deformities that you believe there's something really different about this that makes it part non-human.
Right. Well, as you can see, with a normal human, you have the eye sockets that are cone-shaped and about 2 knuckles worth of depth. That deep in the optic nerve and the optic fissure are all the way at the back of the cone. In this, we see that there's just a little scoop out of the front, not even a knuckle's worth, and the optic nerve and the optic fissure are all the way down at the bottom. This has upper sinuses through here. This has no sinuses whatsoever.
But basically, without getting into a lot of this, because I don't think we'll all understand like you will, it's a different shape. There are enough differences that you think there's something else that was mated with a human to create a different...
It's possible. There are many stories out within what we call the fringe that from women who say that they've been harvested, where they've been impregnated and then have the fetus taken out of them, and later then they're taken on board a craft and see the child or children.
So by non-human, you mean something from another planet that visited Earth, is what you're saying?
Absolutely, an alien being. And in this case, we would be talking about grays, because this skull, frankly, if it were anything other than the shape of a gray head, we wouldn't be as excited about it as we are. But when you look at the traditional standard interpretation of a gray, of which we've been hearing for literally hundreds of years, and we have thousands of examples of drawings, then you have to say where there's that much smoke, there might be some fire. And you see on the screen now the standard gray, there's the tall gray and the short gray. We think we might be looking at a hybrid possibly of a small gray, or it could be just a pure gray. This could be a pure alien skull.
Now, David, your magazine deals with a lot of fringe elements, UFOs and conspiracy theories and things like that, and you published an article on this skull. What does the rest of the world think about this?
Basically, the problems that I've had with it is, if it's extraterrestrial, one of the things that I believe, before I even go into any of the details about it, is with UFO cover-ups, as we call it, etc., we have a lot of photographs. We're still yet to see the evidence. We're still waiting to see the evidence. Now, my personal opinion is if extraterrestrials are far more advanced than us and have managed to hide themselves for so long, you know, for centuries from the people on the Earth, why is it that they've allowed, say, for example, one of the bodies of an extraterrestrial to be found, to be discovered? If they're a lot more intelligent than us, why would they do that?
Why would they have left something behind?
Left something behind. Right. I am open-minded. If it's not a deformed human, I'm open-minded to the possibility of what you could call like a crossbreed. Yet I don't have an answer for it until we have complete testing. Then I think we can have more conclusive evidence. But there are a lot of features that are very, very similar to a human skull, but as Lloyd's pointed out to me just prior to coming on air, this was the first time I've actually sighted the skull, and in many ways I'm impressed, in many ways not.
And what will DNA testing show, Lloyd?
DNA testing will show its parental heritage, what its mother and its father were like genetically. If both the mother and the father were human, the DNA will show that. What's exciting about this is, as David was saying, there's been so much evidence out there that can't be verified. Photographs, films, just personal accounts of encounters with aliens. This is the first time that we know of where we can get a definitive answer, yes or no, with the DNA, because the DNA will tell the basic bottom line about this. Is it human or is it not entirely human? And I think that's the most we can say, not entirely human.